Hello, and welcome to AKF Channel. My name is Jem. Today we have a special guest, Elaine Amankwah Nietmann. Elaine, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
My name is Elaine Amankwah Nietmann. I am a Christian wife, a mother of 4 children, and I'm also an attorney. My 4 children, one of them has special needs. He's been diagnosed with autism. I am also an attorney, as I mentioned earlier. I practice both civil and criminal law, and in my civil practice, I also practice family law. And currently, as it stands, I am running for Gwinnett County State Court Judge in Division 5. The judge currently that is there is retiring. So I'm running with 2 other opponents to determine who's going to replace that seat.
How did your son get diagnosed?
Well, my son, from a very young age, when he was about 3 months, he was babbling and, doing all the regular milestone things he was supposed to. But we did notice something a little strange, that he was on the swing and he was able to propel himself at age 8 months, all by himself, no battery. And I mean, at that time, we weren't too concerned, but by age 1 and age 2, he just lost all eye contact. He was just doing things and not looking at us in the eyes, and we were just trying to get his attention all the time. But so that kind of led us to go see a specialist, and then we went through all the questionnaires. So around age 3, he was diagnosed with autism.
How did your child's diagnosis affect your personal life, work life, family life, and general outlook on life?
Personally, in the beginning, I was in denial. I just did not believe it because nobody in my family had ever been diagnosed with this. I was very hurt. I was down. I might even go as far as saying that I was feeling very depressed at the time because I just thought, what's his life going to be like? What's going to happen to him? All these questions were running in my head. I was blaming myself, trying to go over and over in my head, what did I do wrong to cause this? So I enrolled him in Babies Can't Wait, which is a program here in Georgia, and they helped out with some therapies and so forth. And I did a lot of research on my own. As far as my work life, it came to a halt at some point because I just needed to get it together, to regroup, to know exactly how to approach the process. So I just took the time off to focus, to get everything together, and also to get my mind and my mental space in a good place to know how to take care of him. And once I did that, I was able to have just a good guideline of what to go, how to proceed after talking to specialists and therapists, how to do that. It was very hard because being an attorney, it's hard to take off time to just simply, go do something else, like take care of a child. But I realized that it was critical, that in order to be able to do my best as an attorney, I needed the time to be able to know mentally where I was with my child, my son. And it was the best thing ever because it really helped me strategize where I am and where I'm going today.
What is the most challenging thing about being a parent of a special needs child?
The most challenging thing is the progress. Progress is slow. You have to learn patience. And that's part of the reasons why I have so much patience in my law practice, because I realize that sometimes everybody's going through transitions in their lives. And where you may be is not where another person is ready to be. And with my own son, just watching his growth, I celebrated every little progress that I could see. If he made eye contact with me, I was excited. I think at one point, the first words I ever heard him say was he went in front of a window and he said, outside. And I was so ecstatic. He said words. So just those little progresses were great, but I had to learn the patience. That was the most challenging thing, is to know that progress will happen, but it takes time. So that's the most challenging thing that I experienced.
Do you have any helpful suggestions for parents who have recently received a diagnosis?
Yes, I leaned on my faith, a lot of prayer and time spent in just trying to get my mind together with that. My suggestion for them is to get people that can help you mentally to cope, to understand. You will have a lot of people in your life that will be on the denial side with you, say, oh, don't worry, your child is fine, leave him alone. But you have to be a responsible parent and be diligent in researching and trying to come up with a plan for your child's healing and getting better in the process. So definitely be diligent in your research, but have a peace of mind realizing that at whatever stage your child is, that's not them at an adult. That's them as a child. So unless if your diagnosis is at the adult stage, then that's a different approach. But for me, knowing that my child's a child, he has a whole life ahead of him. So just be patient and just know that things can change, things will improve. So just have that patience and give yourself a peace of mind. Don't beat up yourself over it. Don't blame yourself about it. Don't get disheartened about it, because if you're not well mentally, your child can sense it, and their progress can be hindered by just how fatigued you are in not being able to provide for them. So I would give that advice to parents.
Are you currently involved in any community projects that involve special needs kids and or adults?
Oh yes, definitely. Well, I could talk to you about my campaign. My campaign is my efforts to reshare. But in the past, some of the advocacy I did was with making sure that the deeming waiver was passed. I went down to the Capitol and I advocated to make sure that Medicaid would cover children with special needs ABA therapy. And now I'm happy to hear that up to age 21, children with autism diagnosis can receive ABA therapy under the deeming waiver. Other things that I've done is I've also advocated on behalf of my insurance to make sure that they open up offering ABA with more than one provider, because there was a 3-year waiting list at one point for my child to get the therapy that he needed. And by opening up now, I'm happy that so many other children are able to get therapy through other providers except for just one. And right now I'm in my campaign. I am running for state court judge, and I really want to advocate for a mental health court. Mental health court can deal with mental illnesses, mental disabilities. A lot of times, it's unfortunate, but our disabled community or people diagnosed with mental illness or disabilities or autism, unfortunately, because of the impact of how society reflects on them or treats them, they can get into trouble too. And if they come before the courts, we need to make sure that we have trained judges, trained public defenders to know how to deal with them. And additionally, also, just to make sure they're in the right program to success, to make sure that they don't become repeat offenders. And part of that involves making sure that we have job training, making sure that we find jobs that are willing to take them on and allow them to work there. Our courts are the biggest providers of mental illness treatment in the entire state. And the state of Georgia ranks number 48 in the country for mental illness treatment. So if we're addressing other mental illnesses through drug court, we should also be able to address the mental health of our individuals and citizens that have these disabilities that come before the court. I can give you one example. I had one client that had received an IEP when he was in school. And after the process was over, it was over. He felt very lonely. He didn't have any friends. Society just had not integrated him well. And he isolated, he self-medicated with marijuana, and unfortunately he got caught. And now he's in the system. Rather than him sitting in jail for 8 months, rather, if he was in a program that would introduce him back into society, provide the training for him and also allow the community to offer jobs that would allow him to be able to be part of that and work and be successful, schools and so forth. I believe that would go a long way versus, just sitting in jail for 8 months or so and then released into society to be dependent on another individual.
Thank you for joining us, Elaine. And that's all the time we have for today. We hope you have enjoyed this, and we will catch you here next time at the AKF channel.